Hi everyone, welcome to the Missoula Marathon and Half Marathon training class. Today we're going to be discussing hydration. Specifically, I'm going to talk about why we need to hydrate and how to hydrate while running. So it's really important that we discuss this topic right now because unfortunately we don't have the luxury of setting up aid stations for all of you. In the past, we would have tables set out with water and sports drink and gels and really anything you guys need to get you through the long run. But now with class continuing virtually, you're going to have to be able to self-support yourself. So that's why we're having this talk today. So staying properly hydrated is one of the keys to comfort, performance, and even safety while running. The benefits include more energy, endurance, and even a decrease in recovery time after a long run or a challenging run. I think the key takeaway to this talk is that you need to hydrate early and you need to hydrate often. It is important to hydrate in all weathers, no matter if it's 100 degrees outside or it's freezing. No matter what, when we're active outside, we're sweating. Whenever we sweat, we're losing fluid, and it's really important that we replenish the fluid that we lost. So in a perfect world, whenever you're sweating and you're losing fluid, we would try to equalize that by replenishing fluid. So again, hydrating is equally as important in the heat and the cold. It doesn't matter. As long as you're sweating, you need to be hydrating. So how much to hydrate and when to hydrate when you're running? That's probably two big questions in your mind. So hydrating early, that means hydrating before you even step out the door. So pre-run, you need to hydrate. This is about 2 to 3 hours before you head out the door. You're going to want to drink 16 to 20-ish ounces. So you start your run properly hydrated. This varies person to person. Everything I'm talking about today varies person to person. It's very dependent on you and how your body functions. And a lot of this, like most of running, is really just trial and error. You're really not going to find what works until you practice it. But I can tell you for sure that it's important to hydrate before you head out for your run. So then while you're running, it's important to maintain hydration. So that means you're going to want to drink about 5 to 10 ounces every 15 to 20 minutes of running, about an hour into your run. So in that first hour of running, if you're properly hydrated, you're probably not going to need so much, if anything, but it's after you breach that hour point, typically that a person will start to need water or sports drink. And that is, again, 5 to 10-ish ounces every 15 to 20 minutes. So 5 to 10 ounces, that's really small. It's really just a couple sips. You're not going to want to be gulping down, a 16-ounce plastic water bottle in the middle of your race. It's really all about sipping constantly and taking small sips. And then after your run, it's also important to stay hydrated. Post-exercise, you need to try to get your fluid levels back to where they normally are. So the rule of thumb about this is for every pound lost while running, you want to drink about 16 to 24 ounces of water. So that does take a little math and again, a little practice and trial and error to figure out what that is. And of course, on warmer days, on harder and longer races, you're probably going to be losing more fluid. So again, it varies based on running distance, the type of person you are, the weather outside. Hydrating is not a perfect formula, but with these tips in mind, it can certainly make getting through your long runs and challenging runs a lot easier. So again, I'm just going to emphasize pre-run, you want to hydrate about 16 to 20 ounces, 2 to 3 hours before you get out the door. Again, you are not gulping this down. It's not chugging, it's sipping. And then you want to maintain hydration. So about an hour into your run, you're going to start sipping water every 15 to 20 minutes. And then after your run, you're going to want to replenish with whatever you lost. So hydrating is important because it provides comfort, it helps with performance, it helps recovery, and it improves safety out there. So with that in mind, I just want to talk a little bit about dehydration and overhydration. Dehydration is a pretty common problem most athletes deal with, and it just generally occurs when you have a loss of body fluids, usually through sweating, and that exceeds the amount that's taken in. So once you've reached the point of feeling thirsty, dehydration has already begun. So one of the ways to counteract this is by drinking water. It's the best way to counteract dehydration. But if you don't, your body will continue to provide signs that you're dehydrated. So some early signs of dehydration is thirst, dry mouth, a decrease in energy, and then more serious symptoms will be cramping, headaches, nausea, things like that. So this remedy for dehydration is very simple. Simply drink more water. And just a note, it's better to take, again, frequent sips rather than gulping large amounts of fluid infrequently. So it's really good to just always have like a little water bottle or something on you, so you're constantly sipping and constantly reminding yourself to stay hydrated. And then the other problem that deals with hydration is overhydration. This is much more rare than dehydration, but it does happen. So when you're overhydrated, the sodium levels in your blood become really diluted, so cell function in your body becomes impaired. So overhydration can become severe, although it typically isn't. So this has a lot of the same symptoms as dehydration, like cramping, nausea, decrease in energy. But you will know the difference if you're dehydrated or overhydrated simply by being aware of how much fluid you're intaking. So the key to prevent overhydration is to monitor how much you drink, and you don't want to overdrink. So if you feel like you are suffering from overhydration, a pretty simple fix is adding salt back into your body, whether that's through salt tablets, sugary and salty drinks, maybe like a Gatorade, or even a salty snack like pretzels. That should help kind of bring back the balance to your cell system. So again, while we're running, we need to hydrate for performance, for safety, recovery. There's a whole lot of reasons we need to hydrate. And while we're hydrating, we do need to avoid dehydration, overhydration. But if you are to suffer from one, it's most likely going to be dehydration. But both of them are both simple fixes by just monitoring how much you're drinking and either adding more or taking away. So there's a lot of hydration products out there. Of course, there's water. There's sports drinks like Gatorade and Powerade. There's tablets like Noon. You have powders like Scratch. There's really so much out there. And again, this is all trial and error. I really encourage you to go out or order online, whatever it is, buy some different products and just test it out while you're running and see what works for your body and works for you. We're all different. So what I do or what some people I know might do might not work for you. So again, just practice. So then, since the training class is happening virtually, you're going to need to set up your own aid stations. There's a lot of ways you can do that. So I'm going to talk about those briefly. So you can have a family member or a friend drive to a certain checkpoint, and they can kind of be your aid station. Right now, in this time, that family member or friend should be a member of your household. But if they're willing and they're able, they could certainly drive out, kind of follow you around and stop wherever you need them to provide you with the fluid and fuel you need. You can also have a family member or friend bike next to you. They could wear a pack with, again, all of your supplies and materials that you need for your run. And right now in this time, I highly suggest if you choose either of those two options, that these are friends or family members that live in your household. And then this is my personal favorite. You can use your home as your aid station. So that would mean you're creating some sort of loops around your house so you could stop at your home pretty frequently. This means you can come back to your house, get any fluid, fuel you need. You have the opportunity to go to the bathroom, or maybe you wore too much outside and you need to strip down a layer. I really like this option because it's kind of comforting knowing you can come back to your own house if you need to and need to use it for anything. Plus, I like running loops because I'm weird. So the other option you have is to purchase some sort of device to help you carry your items. That could be a handheld, a waist pack, a backpack. And this is pretty popular with a lot of runners and especially trail runners. I think most people find it really convenient to have like a pack on your back with really anything you might need for the duration of your run. So this video is part of a series. The first video is this one that you're watching right now, everything about hydration. The second video, which I highly encourage you to watch, is a little clip. It's only like 2 or 3 minutes from Runner's Edge. Alex from the store talks about the types of devices they have. So he will talk more specifically about handheld waist packs and backpacks that they have available there and how you can use those during your runs. And with that, I'd just like to encourage you guys to go to Runner's Edge if you need to. They're still open. They're doing phone orders and online orders. So if you find a pack you like in the next video, be sure to give them a call and they can help you out. So that's about all I have for hydration. So just to go over everything that we talked about really quickly, because this video is a lot longer than I expected it to be. We talked about how and why we need to hydrate. Hydration is a great tool, a necessity really, to provide comfort during your runs. It improves performance. It's important for runner safety, and it could help improve your recovery period after you're running. And then we talked about when to hydrate pre-run, during run, and after run. We talked briefly about types of hydration, and then we talked about how to set up an aid station. I will be sending out a small document that just briefly touches on all of these aspects of hydration that I talked about, just so you guys have it and you could refer to it whenever you need it. But otherwise, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or comment on this video, and we will be in touch soon. Stay well, guys.